How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy WNBA Today. Your boy Cam, Rick Kamla, covering the W like nobody else does, man. We will later on in the show have a little fantasy spin, but this is a reality show with a fantasy show weaved in. We just talk about the WNBA, all of the top stories, all of the cool stuff. Your boy always got some goodies for you as well. Want to tell you a couple of things here. Our guy from SportsGrid, Coach James Young, is going to join us later on in the show. Usually it's around 10:15, 10:20. It's going to be later on in the show today. So he'll just drop in whenever his schedule makes it such. In a programming note here, next week, exceptionally, 1 week only, the WNBA show and the NBA show will be on Wednesday and not Monday. These are usually Monday joints. The WNBA show and the Sports Ethos NBA show with Rick Kamla, which comes up at 11 right after this one. But they will be next Wednesday, not next Monday, and just for that week only. So, time for the top three from the past week. Caitlin Clark returns. Oh, angels singing, man, especially for me in fantasy. I've got a bunch of shares of Caitlin Clark. I actually have a team that's 0-3 right now, which is very weird. Very weird. I don't like, it's a jacket. It's like fat guy in a little coat. Like, it doesn't fit 0-3. That's not how I roll. I got a lot of 3-0s, a lot of 2-1s. But one particular team, I had Copper and Clark. And I think I had Natasha Mack and just buried with injuries, man. So 0-3. I think I got a win last week, actually, to go to 1-3. But anyway, like getting Clark back. And why did I win last week? Because Caitlin Clark came back with a big game. On Saturday against the New York Liberty in a highly rated game, and I'll get to that stat in a minute. Clark drained 3 threes in a row. Logo, and just gutsier each time. And, just when you get in the zone and it's a heat check and all that, she had 7 total 3 balls to lead Indiana to a 102-88 victory over the previously undefeated New York Liberty. Yes, extremely impressive here. She missed 5 games with a left quad injury. She had 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, and she accounted for 54 of Indiana's points with her scoring and her passing. Is there any doubt that Caitlin Clark is the best shooter in the WNBA? Is there any doubt? Hit me up at Rick Kamla Sports. Let me know here. Do you think it's Sabrina? Sabrina is a total badass shooting the rock. I really want to see Caitlin Clark sort of girl up. I'd say man up, but like girl up to a 3-point contest, right? And I know it's different from the game, but Sabrina went toe-to-toe with Steph, yo. Like, she went toe-to-toe with Steph. So we got to bring her into this. But I don't know, man. Caitlin Clark makes logo threes look easier than Sabrina does. And I think Caitlin Clark may be even a notch up from Sabrina. And I know these are like big comments and big statements. I love Sabrina Ionescu. Whew, Caitlin Clark, man. I'll tell you right now, easily she's the best passer in the WNBA. There's no doubt about it. Nobody like in the NFL, quarterbacks, they throw wide receivers open, right? Where they see it and they literally throw to a spot. The receiver's got to go get it. And by going to get it, he sort of eludes the defender into going to get it. That's the QB throwing him open. Like, he's covered, but I'm going to throw it over here. You run to it, and we're going to create an opening there. All right? She does that for her teammates with these little passes and hit-aheads and these run-outs and stuff like that. And also, she's just a slick wizard in the half court as well. So good to have her back, man. I know the ratings took a dive when she was out. Now she's back. So, I don't know. The WNBA clearly is better with Caitlin Clark. Now, Clark comes back, and they beat the Liberty, right? On Tuesday, the Indiana Fever lost to the Atlanta Dream 77-58, and the Atlanta Dream, I told y'all, they were my little team that could coming into the year, and look at them now, kicking ass and taking names. I will talk about them here in a little bit. But You've got Indiana now at 5-5. They were 4-5, then they beat the Liberty, kind of, shocking and surprising and that kind of thing. But they're now 5-5, and they can, just kind of build on this now. I think they're really going to rise in the standings here. So they go 58 points against Atlanta. Saturday, they score 102 against the Liberty. That's crazy. And they had lost earlier in the year to the Liberty, 90-88. That was the last game Clark played before she sat out for the first time in her college or pro career. And Clark had the torch early, man. She had 25 points at halftime. She made the 3 triples that I talked about, and everybody was going crazy. Look, bottom line, with Caitlin Clark back, the Fever are the 3rd best team in the WNBA. I said this in the preseason. You lose Clark, you're a middling team. You have Clark back, who's an MVP candidate. We all know this. Arguably, she's, I don't even want to rank where she is, because you got Fee, you got Asia. I don't know. She's up there. She's one of the best players in the league. But now that she's back, the Fever are the 3rd best team. And they, like I said, are going to shoot up the standings here. They're going to start to add wins against the GSVs. I know they're pretty good, but the Washingtons, the Connecticuts, and they're just going to start stacking wins here and shoot up the standings. Look, I think Caitlin Clark is a fantastic bet right now to win MVP. She missed 5 games, okay? And they were 2-3. So let's say they're 2-3, and then let's say their record with her is 15-5 or something like that. I'm just making it up, but 2-3, you're under 500, and a killer, crazy good record with Caitlin Clark. That helps for her MVP case. I looked yesterday, Nafisa Collier was minus 330, all right, making her almost a prohibitive favorite. Clark plus 370. Huge divide there between Collier and Clark. Huge. And then Brianna Stewart at plus 2,000. Asia Wilson at a plus 3,000, which I think is disrespectful. I mean, it's not that bad, but, this reflects, betting and money coming in. So maybe it is. We have a 2-lady race right now with Collier and Clark. The odds say it's a 1-lady race right now. I promise you that these odds are going to go like this. Whoosh, and a week from now, you're going to see, whether it's BetOnline or whoever, the Caitlin Clark is now right on Nafisa Collier's heels for MVP. You're going to see it, okay? Because Clark is going to continue to put up these savage games. I think Indiana's going to keep winning. Everything's going to keep rising for this team. The attention, the notoriety, the narratives. And I just think Clark is a spectacular value at plus 370 to win MVP. Nafisa Collier has not put this to bed. Okay, that speaks to it being over. But we know that this is a long run here, a very long run. I mean, these ladies have played 10, 11 games right now. They play 44. So basically, we're about a quarter of the way through the season. 75% of the season is left to go. Guys, I am on Hard Rock Bet down here in Florida. It's very basic. It's very bare bones. They don't have futures. Maybe they do online. They don't have it on my phone, and that's where I do my investing. I would knock the shit out of that if I could. I'd probably put 2 hundos on that at plus 370 and really try. I'm telling you, does the world love Caitlin Clark? Does she sort of have a magnetic pull on just all of it, right? I mean, she's got it factor. She's in all these commercials. She's the chick right now. I don't know what to tell you. So it's all going to boomerang back to her, especially she's going to just keep ripping off these huge box score stat lines. Anyway, Collier at a plus 370 is a bang, 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 bang. Like my guy Stacey King in Chicago. Bang, bang, bang. Love you, Stacey, and Adam Amin, arguably my favorite broadcast crew. But I love that. Bang, bang, bang. Do that. Hit 3 units on Caitlin Clark plus 370. In New York, they're suffering their first loss, right? But we got to put a bit of an asterisk by it. Jonquel Jones was out with an ankle. Leonie Fiebisch was over with Germany for Eurobasket, which has taken a bite out of the WNBA. It is what it is. A lot of players have bailed. My girl, Janelle Salon, the fantasy revelation for GSV. I looked the other day and I see the O for out, and I'm like, Dang, what happened to my girl Salon? And she went with France to Eurobasket. I'm like, Eurobasket. You can put the Eurobasket ladies on the IR spot in ESPN leagues, but ESPN leagues need more than one IR spot. All right, end of soliloquy. But so you got to put an asterisk on it for New York, but they did suffer their first loss. And check this out, guys. The Fever and Liberty game was the most watched in WNBA history. What? I just screwed up the bit. I'm all screwed up. The Indiana Fever and New York Liberty game, Caitlin Clark's return game, was the most watched game in WNBA history with 20.9 million viewers. I'm just saying, you can have your thoughts about Caitlin Clark, and I just look at her as a baller and I don't know, like face of the league and like just all like the genuine, legitimate, factual stuff. I don't create anything else, okay? I'm not looking at color of skin. I'm not looking at anything. I am looking at you're a friggin' baller and you are the face of this league right now. And she's really fun, man. She plays a really fun, spectacular style of play. There's a little Steph in her. There's a little Luka in her. Like, I dig it, man. I dig it. I also dig Angel Reese, who made history yesterday. 11 points, 11 assists, 13 rebounds, first career triple-double, which is big stuff for her. She's not a dime lady, okay? She's a double-double queen. But 11 assists, very, very impressive. Tell you what's more impressive, they won the game. Chicago got a win, 78-66. They beat the Connecticut Sun, not a great team, but hey, your Chicago, a win is a win. 23 years and 40 days old. She is the second youngest player to record a triple-double in WNBA history, behind, you know who, Caitlin Clark. I mean, Clark and Reese, their whole careers are going to be doing this. Their whole careers. Everything. The stats, the matchups, the spiciness. I'm telling you, it is the best individual rivalry that we have in sports. It's not a hot take. Think about it. Haley Van Lith played really well, by the way. I didn't get the previous game. She played like 4 minutes. I didn't panic in my fantasy leagues and cut her because the playing time has been so weird for her all year. Yo, Sloot is out. Play this young lady, okay? What do you have to lose in Chicago? You suck. Groom young players, okay? She had 16 points. Chicago moved to 3-7. Everybody just needs to hang in there with Angel Reese. She's in year 2. All right, she's going to figure this out. This game right here is a sign of that. Because she hasn't been good this year. She hasn't. A lot of single-digit scoring games. You know, the rebounds have been fine. She's she's the best offensive rebounder in the history of the WNBA. The stats say it. The two best offensive rebounding years in WNBA history are this year and last year for Angel Reese. How about that? Okay, like Clark is the best shooter, I think, today, the best passer of today, arguably the best passer and shooter of all time. And then you have Angel Reese, arguably the best rebounder of all time. And the stats say that she's the best offensive rebounder of all time for these two second-year players. How cool is that, man? I get excited talking about that, dude. I really do. So Angel's going to figure it out, man. Everybody just chill. I know everybody's going to do their little criticisms on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. And I saw things she put out. She said, I love it when y'all troll me. I know Joel Embiid loves it when he gets trolled, right? Like it literally is fuel. And hopefully, people just let Angel be Angel and Clark be Clark. She's not as skilled, okay? Angel Reese. She's not. And she's got to work on that. But skill will come. Motor, hunger, competitiveness. Like you can't coach that or build or manufacture that. You got to have that. You can build and manufacture skill. I want to tell you about the Sports Ethos app. It is at your favorite app store. It's completely free. We're making huge investments in what we call the next generation of Sports Ethos. The past 12 months have been a game changer for us. We're working hard behind the scenes to bring you the best fantasy product on the market. And we want you to download our app now and stay on top of all the latest news for the NBA, NFL, and MLB. Plus, take advantage of our fantasy basketball tools. Our app is your ultimate edge. Don't miss out, all right? All right, number 3 in my top 3 from last week. Who is the surprise team of the WNBA? The Atlanta Dream or the Phoenix Mercury? I'll go into it and then give you my answer. The Mercury are 8-4. I'm so proud of them. I am. 8-4. They beat Las Vegas on Sunday without Asia Wilson. Kalia Copper. The homies came back. Yeah, the homies came back. Caitlin Clark and Kalia Copper. I have them all over the place in my 7 fantasy leagues. And Copper didn't play great. She had 11 points in 18 minutes. But she's back. I love it. By the way, McConney and Lexi Held and Whitcomb now are going to have to get in where they fit in, and they're going to be weirder now and maybe send to the waiver wire, monitor it for a minute. But those 3 ladies who have been so good for Phoenix, mitigating this time without Copper, from a fantasy perspective, they've had some value. Now that Copper is back, I don't know. Just letting you know. It may be time to drop those ladies with a thank you on the way out for their service on your team. But Alyssa Thomas was fantastic. 14 points, 6 rebounds, 13 assists. Satu Sabali was great, 22, 9, and 3. Wickham, who I just mentioned, had 18 off the bench. Problem is she's coming off the bench now. That'll be like this, up, down, up, down. Oh, by the way, Natasha Mack is back. They're back at full strength for the first time this season. Are the Phoenix Mercury for real? To me, they are in the running for the 4th best team. And I can't believe I'm saying this. Preseason, looked at their roster, all the question marks, no DT, Dinah Taurasi, no Brittany Griner. I'm like, we talked about it a lot. Like, I faded this team. I did. They are surprising me. They have star power with Sabali and with Copper and with Thomas, and they have depth. And that depth really helped them get this record, right? Well above 500, and they won again. So now, to the Atlanta side, Ryan Howard won Friday night. And Atlanta is proving that they're an elite team. They're making me look smart about all of my preseason hype and optimism about them. But it's all born of roster construction. Same with the NBA. It's not like I just pick a team. Hey, I want to like that jersey this year. No, it's your roster construction. Like, dude, you got a rock star team. Okay, I'm on it. I'm with it, right? And that's how I felt about Atlanta when they got Brittany Griner and Brianna Jones. I thought those were just huge, huge moves for them, man. Ryan Howard, who's a mainstay in Atlanta, career high 9 3-balls, okay? Tied the WNBA single game record. She had 36 points. Wow. And Atlanta beat Chicago 88-70 on Friday. She broke the dream record for threes in the game. Renee Montgomery, who's fantastic on TV, had 8 back in 2018. Arike, why do I have Arike? Oh, the other ladies with 9 3-balls in the game. It's Arike Ogunbowale, Jewel Lloyd, and Kelsey Mitchell at 9 threes, and then Ryan Howard with 9 threes. Believe it or not, Caitlin Clark does not have 9 threes in a game. But I'll tell you what. Given about 2 months, Caitlin Clark will probably have a 10 3-ball game and break this record. Caitlin Clark's going to have that record. There's no doubt about it. I always kind of thought Steph would get the record for threes made in an NBA game. But his buddy Clay's got it, man. For right now, Klay Thompson to me is second best shooter of all time. So let's see here. For the Dream, they're 7-3. Best start to a season since 2016. And wait a minute, that was through Friday. They're now 8-3. On Sunday, they crushed Washington. Alicia Gray went off 32, 5-4, 6 threes. And Howard came back to earth a little bit. She still had 14, but made 5 of 14 shots. Naz Hillman had a dub-dub off the bench, and I've been telling you about her. Let me make a point about Atlanta and then answer the question. Atlanta is the 4th best team in the NBA right now. I would pick Atlanta head up with Phoenix in a playoff series. I love Atlanta's starting 5. And they groomed a couple of bench players when Canada was hurt, and Naz Hillman is a really good bench player, with or without Griner, but they've got a decent bench, not a great bench, but their starting 5 is rock star, okay? Kind of built like the Knicks a little bit with a better bench than what the Knicks had. So I think they are the 4th best team. Phoenix is probably 5. I think Seattle and Vegas kind of lurk in there somewhere after 4. All right. But Atlanta's 4 to me. So which of these teams is a bigger surprise? To me, it's Phoenix. Am I surprised that Atlanta's 8-3? Yeah. Like 7-5, 8-6. I don't know. Like I just saw them over 500, making a move, maybe being 5, maybe being 4, like whatever that looked like, right? So they're kind of right where I thought they would be. Maybe a little above with the 8-3. Phoenix, way above what I thought. Way above what I thought. If you told me that, are we a month in? I think we're a month into the season. If you told me a month into the season that the Phoenix Mercury would be 8-4, I would have said you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. Are they 8-4? I'm getting confused with their record with Atlanta's record. 8-4, 7-3, whatever. It's a very, very good record for Phoenix. But if you told me that was their record, I'd been like, dude, you're on something. It wouldn't have computed for me. Want to tell you about SportsEthos.com, guys. It is Rick Kamla here on the Fantasy WNBA Today. We are going to bring on SportsGrid Radio's Coach James Young. The Mercury are 8-4. Thank you for confirming that, Andre. So I want to tell you about SportsEthos.com. And I will do that right now. All of our work, okay, me, Dr. Ray, Aaron Brewski, all of our work is available at sportsethos.com. The baseball guys, the football guys, all the great writing is out there. We're the best in the biz. I don't think there's any question about it. I've read the baseball stuff, read the football stuff. There's nobody doing it better. It's high tech. It's very analytic. It's very smart. And it's going to help you win because we're competitive. We take no shortcuts. We're the best analysts in the game. We want to be the best. We want to win, and we want to win along with you, and we want to help you win, okay? So go to sportsethos.com and subscribe. Prices are as low as they're ever going to be. We have grandfather programs where if you get in, your subscription price will stay incredibly cheap as we keep adding more and more value to the platform. Go to the sportsethos.com website and check it out. Time for my bottom three. A'ja Wilson injured. She missed Vegas's game against Dallas on Friday in the concussion protocol. She sustained the concussion in Wednesday's 97-89 loss to the Sparks, struck in the face when she was trying to defend a drive to the basket by Dearica Hamby. Not good, not fun. She took herself out of the game, and she missed Friday's game. She also missed Sunday's game. On Friday, Jewell Loyd and Jackie Young went off. They combined for 49 points, and Jewell Loyd was clutch late. It's about time, Jewell. I mean, we're a month in. And we finally got like some goodies and what they brought you in for. Love you though, but that it's been weird. And then Sunday was another DNP for A'ja. The Aces lose to the Phoenix Mercury. Chelsea Gray and Jewell Loyd played well. Jackie Young did not, and Vegas fell to 5-5 on the season. Vegas is 5-5. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Told you. Number two in our bottom three from last week. The Seattle Storm beat the Minnesota Lynx and then lose to the Valkyries. What is going on here? This is the most strange and hard to predict team in the league. You remember on opening night, I lost $100 on this team. I played them at Phoenix. That did not go well for me. I took, and Phoenix crushed them on opening night. I was like, man, Seattle's going to go to Phoenix. Remember, I wasn't high on Phoenix, right? That didn't work out. Kayla Thornton had 22 points and 12 rebounds. Temi Fegbenli had 16 points, and the Valkyries beat the Storm 76-70. Carla Lite had 14 points. So GSV right now is 5-5. The Fever are 5-5. The Aces are 5-5. And the Valkyries are 5-5. Go figure. Very weird game for Seattle. Skylar Diggins scored 21. She did her job. But Nneka Ogwumike was awful in this game. She had 4 fouls, made 2 of 6 shots, 6 points, 5 rebounds. And clearly she's like a 2010 gal. So 6 and 5, it's a dreadful, dreadful game. Gabby Williams wasn't good either. 9 points on 3 of 8. The Storm are 6 and 5. They're the weirdest team in the league. They are. There are nights, they beat the Lynx. Okay? And by the way, I jinxed that. Oops, my bad. I remember I talked last week about the best starts in WNBA history when the Lynx and the Liberty were both 9-0. Well, they both lost this week. I jinxed it. Broadcaster jinx. I'm not taking credit. I'll take the blame for it. I will. There's no credit. It's just blame right now. But Seattle's the weirdest team in the league. They can beat anybody on any given night, and they can lose to anybody on any given night. You can't say that about every team in the WNBA. They are weird. Weird. Seattle, I can't figure you out, bro. I can't figure out if we're going up. We're just going to stay flat. If we're kind of going to drop, I can't figure y'all out, man. You probably got to find some more playing time for Malonga, though. Like, get the young lady on the floor. I don't know. They traded Lee to Dallas. And then GSV at 5-5. Like they're approaching best story in the league right now. They're an expansion team. Can you imagine in the NBA if there was an expansion team and they were 8-8 after 16 games? Because that's kind of what this is. We'd be like, oh my God, the Seattle Expandos or whatever the hell their name is, like they're friggin' 8-8, dude. This is a huge thing going on here. It's a huge thing. And like I said, if you're a WNBA team, do not sleep on the Valkyries. They will beat you. They will beat you. Number 3 of my bottom 3 from last week, Dallas drops to 1-11 with a loss to the Aces without Asia Wilson. Coach Koklanis, he is the most clueless coach since Nate Bjorkgren, man. I'm telling you right now. The worst coaching hire since Nate Bjorkgren. And I'm sorry to do Nate Bjorkgren like that, but that hire by Indiana was god-awful. It just was. It just was. And Coach Koklanis, dude, he, in this game, all right, Dejanay Carrington is involved in a play. It was an out of bounds or a foul play. She was confident, like review it. They got the call wrong. Dude, you're the Dallas Wings. Review it, okay? Like, first of all, Koklanis, what the hell do you know? Dejanay Carrington is one of the better players in the WNBA, okay? Like, I'm not completely disregarding the resume of this guy. I'm sure he paid his dues somehow, some way to get this gig. But he's clueless and in over his head and has no idea what he's doing. He looks back at the bench and, like over at the video coordinator and like confusion. They inbound the ball and like, I think Dejanay might have thrown it wasn't like Rasheed Wallace to a ref, but, a little display of frustration. Like, come on, dude. Dude, you take the help, bro. At the time, you're 1-10. 1-10. Someone's trying to throw you a personal flotation device. Grab it. You might drown, bro. You might. Dejanay Carrington is trying to throw you a PFD. You're in the water. Bro, I see a shark fin popping up right over there, bro. You might want to grab that PFD and paddle real hard and get in the boat, bro. Okay? But he didn't do it. He didn't do it. Disregarded it. Blew it off. You end up losing the game. There probably already wasn't trust between Koklanis and his team. The Tierra McCowan thing was a joke. There's probably been other stuff with this clueless coach. But if there was still some trust with Dejanay, it's gone now. Because Dejanay's like, this guy didn't even listen to me. Like, it's got to be a collab, bro. And I'm not saying, the players got to run it, but it's got to be a collab, especially in a situation like that. She is one of the biggest gamers and ballers and competitors in the entire WNBA. I love Dejanay Carrington. I love this get for Dallas, okay? Let her be her, right? When Draymond does this, does Steve Kerr challenge? Every time he challenges, okay? And first of all, he knows how smart Draymond is, but it's trust, and it's also respect of the intelligence of the player. And Draymond might have been right there and saw it, and Kerr's way on the other side of the court. Anyway, Arike Ogunbowale played well in this game, and DC played well. It was a very winnable game. Bottom line, this team has way too much talent to be 1-11. Way too much talent. And again, that's 12 games? Okay, 4-8, 5-7. I'm not asking the world here. I'm just saying there are more wins on that team than 1-11. This is coaching, bro. This is horrible, dreadful, piss poor coaching. And Andre, let's get back to playing our little game here. Like, he just put it. Andre already beat me to it. He already beat me to it. Because Andre Lamouche, of course, is the best producer in the game. He said not fired yet. Andre, you're the best. You literally are the best. Because I was going to ask him, we did the bit with Coach Bud last year for the Fantasy NBA Today. Or the Sports Ethos NBA show with Rick Kamla. I'd be like just randomly, yo, Andre, has Coach Bud been fired yet? So it's kind of funny. It was a bit. And then, of course, ultimately and obviously, Coach Bud got whacked. We all knew Coach Bud was going to get whacked. God bless Coach Bud. I'm sure he's on a boat or on a golf course, living a very, very, very good life right now. Koklanis, he probably ain't gonna be rich like Coach Bud, but he's gonna get whacked He's going to get whacked. So, Andre, just know, like, I'm waiting on the Koklanus. And I don't know who the WNBA Shams is. I don't know. Maybe it's Andre. Maybe we'll get an AL bomb from Andre when Koklanus is fired. But anyway, I've said enough on that. We bang on him every week, okay? Probably bang on him a little bit more when we bring in Coach James Young. A little bit here. Guys, if you want to support us, it's very, very easy, okay? The best way is to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. And if you're feeling extra generous, drop us a written review. It helps us grow and reach more people. I like to sometimes go historic with the Cammy of the week, and that's what I'm doing this week, man. I've got Brittany Griner. She moved into second place on the WNBA career blocks list, passing Lisa Leslie. Lisa Leslie, as in the logo. Okay? That's big stuff, dude. You passed Lisa Leslie. Not for first, but for second, but you still passed Lisa Leslie. Griner blocked Elizabeth Williams' shot late in the third quarter to move into a tie, and then she later got another block, and she trails only Margot Didik's record of 877. So Griner right now is at 822. The record is 877. She's 55 away. Let's see. Let's just call it, for her, let's call it 30 games left. Let's go a block and a half a game. That is, let's see, that's 45. I don't think she's going to get it this year. She's really going to have to giddy up and go, play every game and be maybe 1.7, 1.8 blocks. I don't think that's going to happen. I think she'll be about 1.5 blocks. So I don't think she's going to pass Margot Didik this year. But she's going to come really close, and early next year, assuming she plays, then she will pass that record. Griner said, a lot of the accolades or stats don't matter much to me, but if there's one, it's block shots. So to pass Lisa, one of the greats to do it, I'm honored to be in that second place. That one means a lot to me, so very happy about that. She said, got a few more to go for Margot, though, but I'm chasing, she added with a smile. Good for Brittany. I know she's balling this year in Atlanta. She's helping the team win. And her addition, and then Naz Hillman coming off the bench, it's a little bit like Al Horford coming off the bench in Boston. He's a starting level player coming off your bench and makes your whole team that much better. We all know that she's a GOAT, Brittany Griner, but here's her resume. 1 championship, 9 All-Stars, 6 All-NBAs, all WNBAs, 8 block titles. How about that one? 8 times she has led the league in blocks. 7-time All-Defensive, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time scoring champion, and she's 21st all-time in rebounds, 2nd all-time in blocks, 18th all-time in points. I mean, that's a hell of a resume, man. And we knew that she was going to be a beast coming out of Baylor. I mean, she was the it human at that point. We all knew Brittany Griner was going to do phenomenal things. I always called her the female Kareem. She always, at least back in the day, she kind of gave me Kareem vibes a little bit. Just long and dominant, man. You guys want to hang out with us live? Sounds cool, right? Subscribe to the Sports Ethos YouTube channel. Follow Ethos at Ethos Fantasy NBA, at Ethos WNBA as well on Twitter and Blue Sky. And don't forget to drop a thumbs up on the video. We appreciate y'all. All right, y'all. Fantasy meets reality. Let's look. I looked through every box score. And watch a lot of games, okay? There's just not a lot popping on the waiver wire right now. There's not. I would tell you if there was. Nyara Sabali, okay, she's starting for Jonquel Jones with the New York Liberty. This is going to be a temporary thing, all right? Don't hug up on Nyara Sabali. But in her last game, she had 10 points, 9 boards, 1 assist, 2 blocks, 4 steals. Aha! You have my attention with 6 defensive goodies, okay? She has 10 defensive stats, a block or a steal, in the last 3 games. Guys, she's at 3.3 stocks per game over the last 3 games. So she's really getting after it defensively. Those stats are huge for category leagues, but they count in points leagues as well. But she's a good pickup right now. Natasha Mack is back. There's no way Kalia Copper was dropped, so I'm not even going to talk about that. But Natasha Mack probably was. And Natasha Mack is back. She had 7 boards in her last game. She's coming off the bench behind Westbeld, but hopefully that changes. and Natasha Mack can be the sleeper that I thought she would be because I hung on to her for the first month while hurt. Anticipating she's going to get 25 plus minutes of playing time. She's not there yet. Hopefully she gets there. And if she doesn't get there, I will be disappointed. And there will be shock and awe. And lastly, Haley Van Lith, the plucky point guard for the Chicago Sky. She's probably on your waiver wire right now. She comes off a terrible game, then had the 16.5 rebound, 6 of 8 shooting game in the Angel Reese triple-double game. Okay, maybe people dropped her. Maybe people sleeping a little bit. Maybe you got to put in a waiver claim on her. Maybe you can't just scoop her right up off the waiver wire with the green ad. Maybe it's I think it's orange or brown, the little claim thing. But put in a claim for her, dude. We got 75% of the season left. Sloot is out. God bless Sloot. I hope she's doing well in her recovery. But Van Lith is going to be the point guard of the Sky. And look, her numbers are only going to get better as the season goes along. She's a rookie. She's learning and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to bring on Coach Young of SportsGrid here in just a little while. He's got a lot of duties going on this morning. We appreciate him making time for us. Yeah, Jonquel Jones is still out for the Liberty. We've been talking about this right ankle injury, but she continues to miss time. And I don't know how long she will miss. Hopefully not that much longer. I do have a couple of shares of Jonquel. I did want to shout out Nafisa Collier here. I do want to shout out Nafisa Collier. And the masterclass that she had, man, in the win over the Sparks. 32 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 3 threes. Statistically, she reminds me of Kevin Durant. I'm not going to really say anything else about game, style of play, how they get their shots, crossovers, all that kind of stuff. Just statistically, that's just such a Kevin Durant line. 32, 8, and 6, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 3 threes. It's such a Kevin Durant line to me. Anyway, random deal. Alyssa Thomas gives me Jason Kidd vibes with her stat lines, right? They're kind of nutty. They're kind of freaky. There's a lot of points, a lot of rebounds, a lot of assists. They go like this, though, up and down a little bit, kind of like Jason Kidd. Kidd would author up like an 8-point, 15 rebound, 17 assist game. Just like nutty numbers, right? That didn't make a whole lot of sense, but dang, at the end of the day, Jason Kidd, you're a beast, bro. But the Lynx, man, they lose to the Seattle Storm and then come back and get a win against the Sparks. So I jinxed it. I did. I jinxed it. Literally the Lynx lost the next game after we talked about that last Monday. I did tell you, though, I think it was a Wednesday joint. I said going to Seattle is a tough place to play. They have a tough crowd. You know, the team plays better there, all that kind of stuff. I still thought the Lynx would win, but I did tell you. I go, watch out for that Seattle game. Boom, they lost that Seattle game. And guys, what is happening here? What is happening with Nafisa Collier in the scoring race is crazy, okay? Nafisa Collier, it's a little bit like Asia Wilson last year. Although Asia had even more competition than Collier does. Collier is at 26.1 points per game, which is it's one of the highest numbers in WNBA history. I think number 2, actually, 26.1. Not sure if she can hold that up, but I believe that would be the second best scoring average in league history. The point I wanted to make is that Kelsey Plum and Asia Wilson are tied at 20.9 points. Okay, so let's just call Collier 26. Let's call Plum and Asia 21. There is a 5-point per game difference right now between Nafisa Collier and the next highest scorer in the WNBA. That's insanity, okay? And obviously, Clark, that's a big reason why Collier is a minus 330, okay, on the MVP boards right now. What if that number starts dropping a little bit? 24, 23 and a half, 22.9, blah, 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 and Clark, rises, which I think is going to happen. I would love it if he could maintain a 26.1. It's like been done once, twice, 3 times in league history. So odds are that she's not quite going to be able to keep it up that high. But obviously she's looking great. So it is Rick Kamla here on the Fantasy WNBA Today. And a couple last things here, and hopefully we can get Coach Young in. We've got the NBA show coming up here at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Duana Bonner was not with the Fever for the Liberty game due to personal reasons. And I wish DeWanna Bonner like nothing but the best. I don't know what's going on here. This has just been the strangest season for her. The coming off the bench, which I completely disagree with. The stats are down. Her role is different than it's probably ever been. Now she's out for personal reasons. I just wish her well, man. I really do. I didn't see this season going like this for DeWanna Bonner. Maybe she didn't see this season going like this for her either. But she's a future Hall of Famer, guys. And this is just a really, really weird year. A really weird year for her. So I kind of wanted to shout her out. Another shout out before we get out. The Dallas Wings acquired Lee Yuru from the Seattle Storm on Saturday after she requested a trade in a quest for more playing time. And we talked about this last week, so I want to pay this off in the shout out before we get out. The Wings get Lee in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2026 draft and a third-round selection in 2027. Lee averaged like nothing, 2.8 points, 1.6 rebounds, and 8.7 minutes. She said, I don't feel I have enough time on the court. I came here only to play the game. I'm really happy and appreciative about this opportunity. So you have the Wings right now. Tierra McCowan is with, can't remember the team, Germany, I think. Luisa Geiselsotter, and I don't know who she plays with either. They are leaving or have left to be with their national teams for Eurobasket, okay? And they're bigs. So you've got more opportunity here for Lee. And I got to read this gangster quote by the, let me see here. A source told ESPN that the Chinese Federation wanted Lee to get more playing time if she was to remain in the WNBA. Lee led China in scoring 17.7 points and rebounding 11 at the Paris Olympics last year. I just think this is gangster. The Chinese Federation, they had a lot to do with Yao Ming's career. They have a lot to do with obviously Lee's career, and in the national, like Yao Ming played for the national team every summer. Okay, every summer it was just what he had to do. He could not get off of those puppies with that monstrous body of his. Anyway, for Lee, they're basically like, yo, we're allowing her to go to the WNBA, okay, to play and get better so she can kick ass and take names for the Chinese national team, okay? They're not worried about the Dallas Wings winning games. Trust me, the Chinese Federation, they're not. They're trying to get their player better by way of the Dallas Wings, okay? And so that's what's going on here, but that's pretty gangster. Like the Chinese Federation's like, well, you better play her. We're pulling her back. And she'll play over here in China where she can, be obviously a rock star and play a bunch of minutes and all that. So Dallas, oh my God. I just thought of something. Oh, Andre, by the way, has Coach Koklanis been fired yet? Has he been fired yet? Oh, I just thought of something. Coach Koklanis, it's Turkey for Tierra McCowan. Thank you. So do we have Coach right now? Do we have Coach? Because I'd love to bring him in on this note. If we do, go ahead and bring him in. We do. Coach Young, my guy. Okay. Coach Young, baby, what's up, dude? Good to have you back on the show, man.
Sorry for coming on a little bit later than usual. I had to jump on the early line on SportsGrid. But yeah, what a time in a WNBA. You look at the fact of Yi getting traded, obviously making the request. Well, there's a couple of things. Number one, she goes to Dallas instead of Seattle. One, Dallas is going no goddamn where, so her season ends sooner. But two, the ability to get playing time, because let's be honest, Tierra McCowan is not getting the time. And you look at Seattle, Gabby Williams, Awumbage, Megabur, she wasn't getting time over any of those three. So yeah, the Chinese Federation probably forced her way out of there. But she goes to a landing spot in Dallas, which is going to rebuild, obviously, around Paige Beckers. So they get this kid some playing time. She benefits, but the season ends sooner so she can get back to the Chinese national team.
But Coach Young, my concern is that Coach Koklanis, who he is the worst coaching hire in the W or the NBA since Nate Bjorkgren and that disaster with the Indiana Pacers. You remember the mutiny and the players giving him a hard time, and it was the worst fit. They had to whack him right away. Coach Koklanis is clueless, completely disregards Dejanay Carrington in the game over the weekend when he should have challenged the play. So I don't know if Koklanis is going to get the memo from the Chinese Federation here, Coach Young, and there may be issues between the clueless Koklanis and the Chinese Federation.
Well, a little backstory on Koklanis. I don't know if you explained it to people, just so you know. Koklanis worked for Kurt Miller. Kurt Miller was the head coach of the Connecticut Sun. He was the assistant. And then when he went, obviously, to LA, he stayed back. So now what happened was, and what I was told is, and you saw it with a couple of coaches, obviously the coach with the Sparks, I think there's one or two other coaches in the WNBA who came from the college ranks. The Dallas Wings went and tried to hire big-name college coaches, including, I think, a college coach in the state of Texas. I'm not going to give away my source or who my guy is, who it is, but people I know can put two and two together. It was one person they tried to interview, and that person said no. So they got stuck with Koklanis going with Kurt Miller, and that's the only reason why he got the job, is because of his relationship with Kurt Miller. Kurt Miller did an absolute terrible job in LA. Now he's gone to Dallas. Now he's in a situation where he's got a gem in Paige Beckers, who looked really, really good, Rick, coming back from an injury. But then you look at the rest of the team; they don't want to play for Koklanis. They're messing up Harrington. And then you look at the fact that Tierra McCowan doesn't want to be there, and you have this star in Enrique Awumbawale who's putting up terrible stats. If I'm Kurt Miller, and that's what I would do, is I would say, okay, I'm building around Paige. I'm going to send out Enrique, and I'm going to try and see what I can get, because it's obvious this team's going nowhere. But I still maintain that they are not the worst team in the WNBA. I don't care what happened yesterday with Angel Reese and the win over the Connecticut Sun. They are awful. They're terrible.
They're not worse than Dallas, Coach. There's no way. There's no way.
If you ask me what roster I'm taking, I'm taking Dallas. And maybe
but you got to take that dumbass coach with the roster.
Terrible. And I'm going to say this, and a big reason, Rick, to be honest with you, why I think you look at Dallas and why they played well. Everybody's going to look at what Angel Reese did, and shout out to Angel Reese, second youngest player to get a triple double in WNBA history. But let's be honest, people, they unlocked and they let Haley Van Lith go. That was the key thing, and that's been something that, talking to people at TCU, when they took Haley Van Lith, they knew that they were going to be able to unlock her game in the pick and roll. And that is where she's most effective. They finally give her the minutes. She should have been getting half the minutes before Sloot got injured. Sloot got injured, and they weren't starting her. Big performance, leading scorer yesterday. Shout out to Haley Van Lith. They should if Chicago's not going anywhere, and they're not, they should put this kid in the starting lineup, let her play 30 minutes. I guarantee you Angel Reese's stats will be much better, because our ability to shoot the ball, play in the pick and roll, and dime up Angel.
I agree 1,000%. These are things that I've been saying as well. She should have been splitting time with Sloot, who's a million years old. And then now, I mean, as soon, because that first game when Sloot got hurt, she played 26 minutes and then had a 4-minute game. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? And then, had a good game in the Angel triple-double game. So we have Coach Young of SportsGrid hanging out with your boy Rick Kamla here on the Fantasy WNBA Today. Caitlin Clark comes back, Coach. They get a win over the Liberty, hand them their first L. Clark goes logo 3 after logo 3 after logo 3. I mean, that was a triumphant return. We used that term. That was the literal triumph. Anyway, all good stuff, man. I've maintained this since the offseason when they went out and got Bonner and Howard, that Indiana's the third best team in the WNBA. And I know the record doesn't say that right now, Coach, but do you feel like ultimately behind the Lynx and the Liberty and Lynx, that they're the third best team? Who is that third best team?
Well, if Caitlin Clark's going to put on performances like that, and then it's them. To me, Vegas is not Vegas anymore. I know that obviously Asia Wilson's out with the concussive protocol, but let's be honest, she was 2 of 12 from the floor in that game early on versus LA. She did not look like herself before she got injured. And I think Becky Hammond, you're watching Becky, Becky Hammond looks like she's aged like 5 years and 2 months, right? And I don't know if it's the fact of the Darica Hamby stuff from last year, Rick, or the stuff with the fact that they've lost Alicia Clark, they've lost Kate Martin, they've lost Darica Hamby in the last 2 years. They've hurt to depth. But Vegas isn't Vegas anymore, right? You go to a team like Seattle, Yes, they got the bigs with a Wumake and Medkaber, obviously Gabby Williams. They got Malanga, the French kid. But to me, it's just Skylar Diggins in the backcourt. I don't know if they have much. And remember, they've been dealing with coaching drama for the better part of a year. I think the third best team is Indiana. And the fourth best team, I honestly think, and I've been on them, and you know where I'm going, is Seattle. And the walking bucket came back last game, and that's Kalia Copper. When they get it situated, and you got someone like Alyssa Thomas, who is a walking double, triple-double, and you got two bona fide 20-point-a-game scores and Satu Sabali and Copper on the wings, plus you look at Alyssa Thomas, and then you look at Sabali as being high-level defenders, I think the fourth best team in the WNBA is the Phoenix Mercury, and I would be all on them on their win total.
Very interesting. Coach James Young hanging out with your boy Rick Kamla here on the Fantasy WNBA Today. That takes me into... all right, I want to stick on this thread here for a minute because I'm loving what Atlanta is doing, Coach, and I want to get you talking about them. I actually asked a question earlier in this show, a question that I answered myself, and now I would like you to answer it. To me, Atlanta and Phoenix are the biggest surprise teams in the league. I thought Atlanta was going to be good. So, not this good, Coach, but I thought they would be good, right? I really like the gets of Griner and Brianna Jones. Phoenix completely is shocking me. I thought no Taurasi, no Griner, all these ladies are hurt. Y'all are screwed. So, I was completely wrong about that. Which of those teams has surprised you more, Atlanta or Phoenix?
For me, it's Atlanta. I expected Phoenix to be pretty good because and I guess people are going to figure out that I have an affinity and a friendship with some of the players, some of the coaches from the Oregon tree, right? Being knowing Mark Kamla, Xavi Lopez have done a great job at TCU, and then obviously knowing and being friendly with Kelly Graves when he's done in Oregon. I've seen Satu Sabali work. And I predicted Satu Sabali last year was going to be the most improved player in the WNBA because I felt like that girl is a 20-point-a-game scorer. She is literally a matchup nightmare because if you're too small, she'll take you inside. If you're too slow, she'll take you outside, right? So I kind of expected that from Phoenix. And I actually thought getting rid of Taurasi, and I'm not saying getting rid of Taurasi is a bad thing. Listen, she is the GOAT, in my opinion, of the WNBA. But it was so much on her and what her responsibilities were. And I thought Brittany Griner needed a new home. I did not expect Atlanta to be it because you're looking at a team that's doing it with two scores and two bigs of 6'5" or bigger. It's unprecedented to run a double big style of Brianna Jones and Brittany Griner with two legitimate scoring machines and Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard. But they're making it work. And Ryan Howard, what she did to Chicago on Friday night, she should have been put in jail because she then stole the whole game from them and took all the fucking lunch money hitting 9 threes against them. And so I was Rick, I am so thoroughly impressed with Atlanta. When you look at teams now in the WNBA, right? And we talked about where New York and Minnesota are 1-2, right? And we talked about the fact of maybe that clear 3 right now is going to be Indiana. This 4 spot now, it's Phoenix, it's Vegas if they can get their act together, it's Seattle if they can figure it out, it's Atlanta, right? They've really done a great job. And I don't know, I feel like when you played in Atlanta, in that arena, it's like a dungeon. It's dark. The court is black. I love what I see out of them. And naked man, Rick, they can score that ball.
One more for you, Coach. And I want to let everybody know you can follow him at Coach Young NJ, host of Betting Above the Rim podcast, lead basketball analyst for SportsGrid. I absolutely, Coach, love Caitlin Clark at plus 370 for MVP right now. I was worried that she was going to miss a month, a long time. She missed 5 games, okay? To me, that's mitigatable in the mind of voters. Collier's at a minus 330. Clark is at a plus 370. And all of that is legit based on what's happened so far. We have 75% of the season to go. And, Coach, I absolutely love Caitlin Clark at a plus 370. I think that's amazing value.
That is an amazing value. And it's funny, when they beat the Liberty, okay, and then she's moved a little bit. Caitlin Clark, right after the game, but before the game, was at a plus 370. Right after the Liberty game, I took a screenshot of FanDuel. She was at plus 310. This morning, she's at a plus 270.
Dude, it's already happening.
No, because Rick, it was so fucking predictable, right? A couple of reasons. Number one, shout out to Big Fish, because Fish was absolutely tremendous versus LA over the weekend.
Unreal.
But you got to look carefully and look at who Minnesota has played this year. They haven't played the Aces. They lost their one game to Seattle. They have not played New York. They have not played Atlanta. They have not played Indiana. They have played a softer portion of their schedule to begin the year. Number two, it was set up, folks, and and people got to realize this. When Caitlin Clark went down and they struggled and barely going 500 in a soft portion of their schedule, all it did is allow Caitlin Clark to, when she comes back out on her shiny white horse and she goes off, the whole world is watching. They just beat the only undefeated team left in the WNBA. She hit not one, not two, not three, logo threes, and not one, not two, but back-to-back possessions. She was so dynamic that if she elevates this team to third place in the WNBA, Minnesota's schedule gets harder. If they're a top 3 team in the WNBA and Caitlin Clark leads them, you fucking think they're not giving this kid the MVP? She's the face of the league. So to me, the more that they win, and they're laying, I think I want to say 16.5 tonight to Connecticut. Lord have mercy. I don't think I can touch that. That would be one of my better bets, is maybe take Aaliyah Boston. She was not that great, but dealing with the bigs is Connecticut a lot different than dealing with Brandon Stewart. Look for her to get going a little bit. So Caitlin Clark for MVP. And a quick note, I was talking to someone I know that's connected to the WNBA, and someone is leaving out a key part to why the Liberty lost on Saturday. They did not have Jonquel Jones. I don't think people understand. She is not the best player on the Liberty. She is the most important player on the Liberty, because she takes some of that smoke off of Stewie. She can take you in the low block at 6'5". She can step out to the three-point line and shoot the three. Now, listen, Naira Sabley's had a really, really good year. She's done a great job, and that people know Naira Sabley, yes, that's Satu's little sister. They both played at Oregon. But to me, Jonquel Jones is a big difference maker. And for someone I trust in the WA, he said this. Even when Caitlin Clark went off, he said, if Jonquel Jones played and they were healthy, they beat Indiana on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Phoebus is with Germany or whoever over at Eurobasket too, so they were without 2 of their starters. A little bit of an asterisk on that game, but certainly not trying to take anything away from Clark. And I love all the takes about Clark and MVP. Yeah, I'm late to the party, bro. The odds have already shifted, and the plus 370 is now down into the 200s. Still good value for you people. Coach, you the man. Dude, I have so much fun talking NBA and WNBA with you, man. Have a great rest of your week. I'll be in touch, and we'll do this again soon.
Appreciate you, Rick. See you soon.
All right. That's my guy right there, Coach James Young. Again, guys, follow him at Coach Young NJ, the Above the Rim podcast and lead basketball analyst over at SportsGrid. All right, one programming note before we get out of here. Next week, okay, just for next week, the WNBA show and the Sports Ethos NBA show with Rick Kamla will be on Wednesday and not on Monday. All right, so this upcoming Monday, a week from today, we will not be doing the NBA and WNBA shows. That'll be next Wednesday, and just for that week only. For Andre Lemouche, for Coach James Young, I am Rick Kamla. I really appreciate y'all watching the Fantasy WNBA today. Please retweet this on your timelines. Let them all know your boy Cam is talking about the dub over here on Sports Ethos. We'll see you next week.